Hello all, welcome to this session. Continuing with levels of testing. So far we have seen unit testing and integration testing. Now what next? My units are tested in isolation, everything is done. My integration testing is over. My testers or my team has tested the interfaces, like I said, data flow, control flow, every module tested, interface is tested, integration is done. Now I have a system ready with me for testing. So the next level is system testing. So what is system testing? System testing is testing conducted on a complete or integrated system to evaluate the system's compliance with its specified features. Validates that the system meets its functional and non-functional requirement. Now, what is this functional and non-functional requirement? We have a separate chapters on non-functional testing, but still for sake of discussion here, I'll tell you in a nutshell. So what is functional testing? 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. That answer I should get. This is the functionality which is expected. But how soon this 2 plus 2 can be gained, or for how many people or how many users, how effectively I can get, how well it can be seen, is there any help associated with it? Testing all these features is called as non-functional testing or testing the non-functional requirements. We will see in the coming chapters, in the coming lectures, the different types of non-functional testing. For here, system testing, to understand system testing, this is good enough to know that it is a testing done to validate system meets its functional and non-functional requirement. So obviously this is done by testers and we don't need developers here in this system testing. Let's move ahead. System testing is always done by tester. That's what I said. Now, the next and the last level in this particular levels of testing is UAT or user acceptance testing. End users and customers are involved. Now, before we begin, let's understand the difference between customer and end user. Let's consider we have an organization where we are getting some project to develop. The project is given by someone. That someone is called as customer. Now that customer is not getting that particular software or that particular application developed for self-use, but to sell in the market. Now when the customer is selling that particular developed product to the people who are his customers are called as end users. Okay, so let's understand this particular concept. User acceptance testing, final stage of testing before the system is accepted for operational use. Acceptance criteria are based on the requirements document, 100% based on the requirements document, because requirements are freezed and finalized by the customer. Done with data supplied by the client. Now, here is one term which I would like to introduce, test data. If I look from this angle, data or a test data is divided into two types. One, the data which team uses at the time of testing in organization, that is generated, created by understanding of the application, we call it as synthetic data. And the one which is provided by the client is called as the final data or the real data. What it validates? It validates user needs, functional as well as non-functional. Now, there are two types in this. One is alpha testing and another one is beta testing. Let's understand this alpha testing. This is pretty simple, but let's understand. Now, the concept of controlled environment is not that that environment is 100% controlled, but it is in the control of the development team, and that's why it is called as controlled environment. Next, beta testing. This is type of user acceptance testing. Beta testing is conducted at one or more customer sites by end user of the software. Now what is happening? Alpha is over, customer is satisfied, customer will take that application and will give to its one of the end users to validate whether that can be usable or not. and this is what we call it as beta testing. Now, live application environment cannot be controlled by developer, okay, because this is at now end users end. Okay, so this covers our last level, which is beta testing. Now, we have discussed so many things about the levels. The questions on this may come at the time of interview, like what is the difference, or what is the difference, why these particular levels exist? Answer is here. Unit, integration, system, and UAT. Summarize for you. Now, answer to the question why these levels exist. So far this in this entire discussion, we have seen that when this particular level of testing is executed, who does it, what is the purpose, and obviously the type of defect of each level is different, and that's why these particular levels do exist. This summarizes into this particular V model. Now this is again in front of you. So started with user requirement, software specification, high level design, detailed design, coding, and from coding unit integration system and UAT, which is on the right hand side, that is validation, and left hand side is a verification. If you see, there is a connection between each level or each section from the left hand side to the right hand side, and there is something written on top of it like acceptance test plan, system test plan, integration test plan, unit test plan. And now, in this entire course, we have reached the point where we should start looking into it. What is a test plan? Which is our coming sessions. So, this is a complete V model and commonly asked question for you. Thank you very much, guys, for listening to this particular session patiently. See you in the next session. Thank you.